I was filling in for my first sergeant once, and a sergeant major buddy of his stopped by. And I remember introducing myself as the acting first sergeant. And I remember him telling me, when you're filling in for someone senior, you're not acting on behalf of them. You are them in that moment. And I remember thinking, okay, that's a nice way of saying take it seriously. But it stuck with me, that part. You are them. And it just kept getting under my skin. And because that statement, you are them, I think is not just about leadership, it's about identity, responsibility, and how we show up when we're asked to step up and when we think no one's watching. Hey guys, welcome. Warren here. But let's talk about that, acting versus being. There's a world of difference between acting like someone and being them. I mean, for instance, acting is external, right? It's about appearances, whereas being is more internal, right? It's about alignment, ownership, and presence. When we act, we're performing, but when we become, we're accountable. And I think accountability is where growth begins. What do you think? And look, you could say there are limitations to stepping up, and I would agree with you, rightfully so, right? Because not all situations are suitable for full assumption of identity. Sometimes we have to remember that stepping into someone's shoes means we're still wearing our own socks, if you know what I mean, right? So there are limitations, there are left and right limits to some things. But I mean, there is humility in knowing when to be a decision maker and when to save space. I mean, I think that's an important delineation to make too, or an attachment to make with the previous statement I said. But I mean, saying that, I think accountability is where personal growth begins, right? Again, wouldn't you agree? I think it's about discernment, and discernment is leadership in its purest form. Just knowing your audience, knowing the discussion that's going on, and just being critical thinkers and emotionally intelligent people, I think encompasses all of that, being discerning. And I think, like I said, that is the essence of leadership. And I think there's an even deeper meaning with that, right? Because stepping up is not performance. I alluded to that earlier. It's responsibility. And that's whether you're stepping in for the boss, whether you're stepping in for a friend, whether you're the one making the decisions in a family matter that's requiring some leadership. Someone is expecting you to be steady. Someone is expecting you not to act like you care, but to actually care. And that too, in addition to what I said earlier, is the essence of leadership. Not control, not command, but service. True, honest, genuine service. I mean, your turn to do some self reflection. Ask yourself, where in your life are you just acting? At work, in a relationship, in your personal growth? And then I'd follow that up with what would happen if for just one day you stopped acting and just be it, own it, carry the full weight of that moment. And here's the catch: even if it's uncomfortable, and just a little secret, it's gonna be uncomfortable most of the time. All right. But what if? What if? Because here's what you're doing if you do that, at least, let's be really conservative, once a week, you're starting to build integrity, right? Because you're doing what I said in the open and you're starting to ask and answer questions, those personal, deep questions when no one or when you think no one's looking. There's also something else I heard about acting in good character because you never know when you're being emulated, right? And I think they go hand in hand. And just ask yourself, what if I stopped acting and started carrying it? That's how I think integrity is built or is starting to be nurtured, not through grand gestures, but through the small, consistent acts of ownership. Taking charge when in charge. Pretty good practice, I think. What do you think? I mean, for me, when the sergeant major said, when you're filling in for someone senior, you're not acting on behalf of them, you are them in that moment. I don't think he was talking about authority so much. I think he was more talking about ownership. And I took it that way. And I think it's been a really good piece of tool for my toolkit. So I can, or I highly recommend trying that one. And when life asks you to step up and step all the way up, right? For you, step up for you. Don't borrow the title, become the standard. Don't pretend to care, carry the care. Because in that moment, whether you're like it or not, you are the example. And that's both the burden and the beauty of stepping up. And until our next conversation, you be good out there. Take care of yourselves, and we'll talk again soon. We'll see you.